Hello, everyone. Lydia here, and welcome to my channel. I very much appreciate your support, and I'm here to give you your full moon reading for today. And in fact, the full moon is for today, April 16th, and it's, I believe, in the Northern Hemisphere. We're at it's about 1:55 or 2 p.m. that the full moon is going to be at its peak. So without further ado, we're going to go right into this. Basically, we're going to be using the Moonology Oracle Cards, and that's by Yasmin Boland. She has 2 sets of these beautiful cards, and this is set number 1. So basically, I have chosen the cards, and we're going to go right into this. The cards have been chosen, but I have not looked at them. So we're going to be looking at them together. So the first card we have is Your Commitment is Being Tested. First quarter moon. Well, this is interesting because definitely our commitment to ourselves and the commitment to the world is being tested. We know that everything right now is a test, and we're definitely in this huge testing mode. It's a huge exam. It's like the final exam. So I'd have to say that I had this conversation with someone today where, because we are such amazing individuals, and I say that basically from the inside, our souls are amazing. We are pieces of God, and literally we hold the universe within us. And because of that amazingness that we have, we're the ones that have to change on the inside in order to see the changes on the outside. It's always been always work with ourselves, and then you can see the changes that happen. And really, it's not so much the changes that happen on the outside. When you change on the inside, you literally evoke this energy that you see the world differently. And the world itself starts to change because of what you do for yourself. And so this is a commitment to self. This is a commitment to the universal consciousness mind. And we're all part of it. So how committed are you to that? And of course, not only is that a commitment to yourself and your spiritual gain and your soul ascension, your soul movement to the evolution, but it is basically how that filters into the material. So in this era that we're going through, this era change or transition, we're changing everything. We're changing our careers, our financial situations, our economic, our relationships, and how we see ourselves in the world. And this is the commitment to ourselves that we have to endure and work on in order to see things materialistically come into fruition that we want in our lives. So we're going to go ahead and look at the first quarter moon. This is funny. I actually just full or open the book right to it, which is really odd in this particular book. But anyways, your commitment is being tested, first quarter moon. So there could be some challenges coming your way, but they're just the universe's way of testing you. The first quarter moon calls for you to face any hurdles with confidence. What do you actually think is possible? If you believe you can do it, then you probably can. If you spend your time affirming that something is too big for you to surmount, it probably is. See how this works? Do you believe your dreams will come true, or have you secretly already given up? Showing some commitment now will help you move towards your desired outcome. What you believe to be true is true for you, so believe in yourself. Attuned to the moon, I am committed to my dreams and move towards them with confidence. Additional meanings for this card could include the answer to your question is yes, but not yet. Some work has to be done. You're halfway to your goal. You still need to put in a bit more effort. Sometimes we just need to realize how much we want something. Or you need to recommit to someone or something. I find this is very interesting because it certainly has to do with where we are feeling, where we're at today, and the way that the planetary aspects are moving, how it influences us in our decision making at this particular time. The teaching in this, in the lunar cycle, the first quarter moon comes between the new moon and the full moon. It's a time when the sun and moon are at hard astrological angle to each other, and this can prompt a small crisis. No matter when you pull this card, you need to see any dramas as a stepping stone to where you want to be. It can also be a time when you need to stay strong through a storm. Now, we know that there's a huge transition going on outside the world. We basically know that everything that is happening around us is necessary in order to change the old to a new perspective that we have never seen before. And it has probably happened in many civilizations before, but we are going through a massive change. And not only are we the ones going through the change, we're changing the earth. We're changing everything around us. Not that we're omnipotent in this human body, we're omnipotent within. And what we can do is far greater than what we think we can do. So I challenge you, using this particular thing, this particular card, this particular time period, for commitment to yourself, and test your resolve. This is basically where, if you want something to happen, see, we want peace. We certainly want peace. We want freedom. We want to be loved. We want compassion. We want unity. I think this is pretty much this. I'm speaking for many, I'm sure, if not everyone listening. So if we want this, how do we go about getting it? How do we go about actively getting it? If we are energetic beings, which we are, then we use the energy that we have within in order to make the change. So what do you want to see? Be the change you want to see. That means on the inside, when you go within, you picture peace, you picture unity, you see how the entire world could be in a unified form, and project it into the world with your energy. That is something that is, yeah, it might be a little bit out there, if you want to call it that, but you know what, this is where we are at. We are definitely evolving into individuals who have a higher purpose, somewhere what we would call ascending into what we're meant to be, who we're meant to become. And along this way, we have the most important job to do, and that is to bring as many of us as possible into that same ascension process. And if we're, say, for example, a lot of us have already gotten to that stage where we feel as though we're unified, we're ascending, then if we're in this ascension, then our internal self, what we do for ourselves, facing any fears, looking back at relationships that either you feel guilty about, or you feel uncertain about, you feel anger or resentment towards, this is prompting forgiveness. This is prompting you to think beyond that and realize that we're all here for a purpose, that we're doing our best along this road, along this journey, and we're also interconnected with everyone else. How do you know that the person that you've had a difficulty with, and it could be someone fired you, or you had a very difficult situation with your employer, or with a really good friend or family, how do you not know that that person was meant to do that in order to trigger something within your brain or within your heart to send ripples into change for your life? And I mean, we've seen this many times before, where we've had something happen, a situation that's happened where it changes our lives. It literally does change our lives from that point forward. This is what's happening. And I think it's very amazing how we're now committed not only to making this change, but to ourselves and to others who are in the same boat, to be able to make the change together. And it's a beautiful thing. Let's go on to the next one. We have you and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. This is lovely. This is a really good wonderful affirmation or confirmation that we are safe where we are. We wouldn't be here as what I would say light workers or people who are making the change or trying to move forward on this spiritual evolution path. We wouldn't be here if we were going to be succumbing to tyrannical control. If you think about it really carefully, why would a vast number of beings be here to be controlled as we have been for centuries? Why would we be here in this crucial time with a most thoughtful and unified thought that we are here for something bigger? This is what we came here for. This is the active change that we can make into a world that we want to see differently, into a, for lack of a woo-woo, other woo-woo thought pattern, we're changing dimensions. We're moving into a dimension that we've always wanted to go into, that was putting us into a graduation status so that our soul moves further along this evolutionary path. So I think that if we're being tested and we're here at this particular time in Earth history, that we are protected and that we and our loved ones are safe. So let's go on to the new moon in Cancer and see what we have, what it has to say. There's a new start coming in your private life. Something is rising up in connection with the people and places you hold dearest. This can be to do with a member of your family, a flatmate, this is a British lady, or moving house. If you're hoping to move forwards with something special in your private life, this card comes to you as a message that you can do it. If you've been neglecting your family, it's time to reconnect with them. If you've been neglecting yourself, you need to take better care of yourself and nurture yourself more, self-care. If your insecurity is holding you back, that's something for you to work on now. Doing so could bring you your heart's desire. Attuned to the moon, make sure you put family first. And we are all family. We are all from a soul family. And it's a similar soul family. So we are all family. Additional meanings for this card could include, let someone get a bit closer to you. A new cycle is starting for your child or children. It's time to review your goals. Have they changed? Meditation will help you banish your insecurities. And spending time near water will bring you peace and answers. The teaching in this is that the new moon in Cancer can be a super emotional time. The moon is all about emotions, and Cancer is a water sign and also very emotional. Saying that, the moon is very happy in the sign of Cancer. It's one of her two home signs, along with Taurus. So whenever you pull it, this card suggests that whatever happens next will be in your favor. It's especially positive for family matters. Now, this full moon is in Libra at this particular time. But it's also in a very interesting aspect with other planets. On the 12th of April, this last week, Tuesday, and Tuesday in the Northern Hemisphere, we had a Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in the constellation of Pisces. And I would ask you to look this up a little bit further so that you know what those aspects mean. I'm not an astrologer, but I certainly follow certain astrologers, and I can put them down in the comments below. And so basically, what I've noticed is that we are in a particular time period where, especially around the full moon, we're now heading towards eclipse season as well. The emotions run very high, and they are intensified even that much more than, say, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, where a lot of us are feeling it a whole lot more. And where there's a place of water, where we are in the Northern Hemisphere, we got a whole dump of snow. So that's a lot of water. I mean, it's a different form, but it's a lot of water. we are going through a cleansing period. And this is also cleansing of emotion. So it's a highly emotional time period. This is a great time to connect with family. And family could be anybody you consider close enough to you that you can be comfortable with. So this is something very important. This is also acknowledging that the people around you are family, even those who you don't like or who have hurt you in the past. These are all soul family. I know it's difficult to look at it this way, but if you look at more of the instances that have happened in your past, you reflect upon what has happened in your past in this lifetime, and you see how it hurts you, situations have hurt you, people have hurt you, or you have done that with others, you'll see that either you or that other person or both have been key players in creating the life that you are right now. This is basically following objectives that you have made for yourself before coming to this planet and following through with the goals that you have come to do. So, yeah, this lifetime is not supposed to be easy, not at all. And it's likely not going to be any easier until this particular purpose or the number of goals that you've created for yourself have been tackled. That means what we would call karma, the karma that we've had from numerous, basically many different experiences as, I wouldn't say reincarnation, I'm going to say basically as an aspect of ourselves coming and going from past and future lives. We have definitely gained a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom. And this could be ancient wisdom or future wisdom. We will draw upon that. That means that there are key players that are making us realize these things as well. And this helps our soul on this evolutionary path. So I challenge you to look at this and say, you definitely have to look at how important the people have been in your lives in getting you along your path, and thank them, forgive them, and move forward. So we're going to go on to the next one, which is the end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. This is beautiful. We realize what is going on in the world. Now, this has to do with not just the world, but ourselves as well. That the end of a tough cycle that you're going through, say, for example, at this particular time, it's been hard to get a position or job, that you've been succumbed to a lot of the restrictions that have happened by the government that's around us. And I'm just going to come out and say it. It's just basically, we've been undergoing a lot of change when it comes to that, and a lot of opposing forces. We are the ones that are really the opposing force to all the control. The end of this cycle is coming. Now, this is my own opinion, but it is also something that I've been getting from my guides, that there is a massive change that is occurring in this particular year, that in the next couple of months, this one included, we are going to see so many truths come out, and it will shock us. It will shock all of us, including those who are aware. We will be realizing how much our entire history, our lives in general, have been manipulated to a degree that is unfathomable. And it will shock a lot of people. It will shock them into realizing the truth about the matter, the truth about themselves, the truth about everyone else around them, the truth about who has been controlling everything that's been going on. Truth in general is coming out. And literally, the truth is going to set us free. That is what has been said in the past, in the Bible, but it's also the truth is important. And the end of this tough cycle approaches when the truths come out and make the changes within us, the perspectives, opens our eyes and says, yeah, you know what? You've been under a spell. And now it's time to wake up. So the full moon in Capricorn, we're going to go into that and take a look at what they have to say about this, because it's ending a cycle in many different ways. This is what a full moon does in the first place. But with every full moon that we have, which we have every month, then we're going to see more and more come out where cycles are going to be changing and ending. A lot of every month, some cycle is going to end. And you have that wonderful time period to be able to look upon your life and say, I forgive, I move on, I'm not letting this control get to me, because once it does, you impart your control to the whoever it is that's trying to control you. If you think about it for a length of time, if you're continually thinking about what's going on, then that the people that are trying to control are taking your control or taking your power away from you. So don't let that happen. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? Again, this came up in the card before. This card is reminding you that effort is required. Work issues may be about to come to a head when this card comes up. If you're wondering if you should stay in your job or leave, this card can be a strong sign to make an exit. The end of a rough time is forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you're prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card can be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is troubled, prioritize it more. Attuned to the moon, release control and trust the universe. Additional meanings for this card could include a professional project may be ending now. Admit if you have been overly hard-headed or hard-nosed. Find a balance between your personal and private lives. Or it's time to stop fearing the worst. That's a big one. Stop fearing, period. There's nothing to fear. The teaching, the full moon in Capricorn, has a very strong work ethic and energy and will more than likely come up when you're asking a professional question. If your question is about another matter, it will serve as a much needed reminder to move through any feelings of hopelessness you may have been feeling about your situation. And this applies no matter when you draw the card. Making a plan is a far better use of your time. I think that's a prescription right there. Really, there's a lot going on in the world at the moment that we can set our intention to create peace and freedom, unity, and love. Especially if there's warring factions, and I say that in the sense that I do send out peace to the countries that are warring at the moment, and there's more than one or more than two. So what I'm looking at here is the fact that fear has been controlling what we think, act, do, and it's overrated. We need to get control over fear. And at the moment, with it just hanging out there, question everything. I mean, if something is coming up to you or basically you get something in the news, be very discerning about this. We know what's been happening with the media outlets. It's been basically telling us the opposite about what is happening. So be very discerning about what you hear. Go within and understand that your intuition is usually quite correct. So take that into consideration when you're hearing certain things. The other thing that this is also talking about too is that we have the power to make ourselves happy. We have the power to just flip a switch within and say, I'm happy, I am joy, and I accept joy in my life. It sounds like it's too good to be true or easier said than done, and that is true. However, we do have the power within us to do that. And I challenge you to try it on a day-to-day basis. Say it until you can, fake it until you can make it. Basically, in this case, I am joy. I am joy. I am abundance. I am happy. And keep saying it on the inside. Say it out loud to yourself. I am joy. I am joy. And say it more and more until you start to feel something stir within. This will help in getting through any of the cycles that are coming up to be let go. And that could also mean, as you go through job changes, and if you see that your livelihood is about to be severed just because of the fact that you are being released from a position, or you're in something that you don't want to be in, then the feeling that you're getting from not wanting to be there, or the opposing emotion that you're feeling from that, this is an indicator to go within and find out, is that really something you want? Is it a job that you want? Is it a career that you want? Is that career failing you at this time? Because this is a time of profound change, a change of everything, which means a change of your mind, of your perceptions, maybe even your eating habits and what you like. This is a profound change, and honor it. Honor it within yourself, because you deserve to listen to those little inklings that are telling you about what change is right for you at this time. So the next and last card we have is emotions are running high, the supermoon. You know, this is something of a time where the emotions are always high at a full moon. In new moons, we sometimes don't actually notice it, but there are others that really notice something going on. And that the whole reading is basically talking about how our emotions are what really cause the outcome of what it is that we want or don't want to see in our lives. It's our reaction. If we react to something that's going on around us, whether it is relationship wise, in your career, the world, and the effects that are going on in the world, if we react, how we react with the emotional construct that we put towards it, that makes all the difference in the world. If you take and you say, okay, you know what, I understand what's going on and I don't like it, but I am choosing to bring this reaction of dislike, anger, maybe sadness, depression, feeling awful, and let it go. Feel it, because that's what we're here to do, but let it go. This is a very important thing, especially when it comes to fear. If you fear something, acknowledge that you fear it, but then let that emotion go. The only emotions that actually have power to change in such a magnificent way are those that are considered positive, and the positive polarity. And I say significant because, of course, fear or anything like guilt and shame and sadness, the depression, anger, all of those, of course, have a major change or a major thought pattern in our bodies that could create the changes that we don't want. But the ones that are actually universal is love and various forms of love and compassion, the unity and the freedom that we feel within, because freedom starts from that within. Those emotions are powerful, and they always overcome the fear or any aspects of fear that we feel into a very positive way, a positive manifestation. So let's go on to the supermoon. I'm going to look this one up because I know sometimes it's really strange it's a really interesting book. You really do have to look it up. So in the supermoon, a supermoon is something that we've actually had, we've seen a number of times in the last, I don't know, I'd say probably more so 20 years. I think I've noticed more super moons than any time before. And I'm sure they probably did happen. It's just I took more notice. But it's basically anytime we see a super moon, because of the fact of the closeness of the moon, it feels the emotional aspects that we have because of the electromagnetic, all the scientific basis behind this, the electromagnetic frequencies that are coming from the planets that are close to us, we're definitely impacted that much more and that much greater. So this card suggests that the answer to whatever you're asking is writ large like silvery full moon set against the velvety night sky. If you're wondering how successful something is going to be, such as a job or relationship, the answer is very. To use common parlance, the answer to your question may well be that it's under your nose. This card is about being larger than life, being special, and bursting with energy that you can tune into and work with. You can expect plenty of good things and a positive outcome when this card comes up, but you may find that there's a lot of emotion to deal with too. There's also a sense that the opportunities around whatever you're asking about don't come along every day. So take action. Attuned to the moon. Success is close. I just must trust. Additional meanings for this card include a resolution to your question is closer than you may think. Don't ignore the obvious. Something exciting lies ahead. Make sure you don't blow events out of proportion. Speak to the goddess, ask her for assistance. So the message in this is a supermoon is a new or full moon that takes place when the moon is at its closest point to the earth during its monthly orbit, an event known as perigee. If it's a full moon, the moon appears around 14% bigger at this time. The moon is known as the queen of emotions. And if you draw the supermoon card, regardless of when you do this, you can expect your feelings to be more highly charged. And it is true. Emotions will definitely run higher at this particular time. So it is one of those things where just to be mindful about those emotions. What would you like to see happen? And what is it that you are willing to let go of in order for it to happen? So I'm going to give an example because it's very key in relationships. Relationships are key at this particular time period. And what I would say is that you need to let go of the past that you've had with other people. So ruminating on a past relationship that you've had with a man or woman that is in your life and has been very instrumental in making changes in your life, whether it's good changes or bad changes in your life, I would say that this is the time to let go of that. Actually look at it, reflect upon it, and see what the changes are as to how you are today. If you're miserable, then you need to take yourself out of that. And that the best way to do that is make the change in your thought patterns. You don't need to be miserable. Why would you want to live this entire life miserable? I mean, no matter what age you are, do you want to continue with your life in that particular cycle of misery? I don't think so. That means that you have what? I don't know, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, you're going to be still miserable. That doesn't make sense, does it? It's a waste of energy. At this point, choose to be happy, choose to be in a state of joy, and choose to release and forgive whoever it is that has created this, or whatever situation has created a problem or a bad taste in your mouth when you think of it. When you look at it, you're not going to forget. That's what we have as humans. We do have a memory. So you're not going to forget, but you can release it. You can release the ties that are connected to it and choose to react differently. This means that you have the power to do this. You have the power to make the changes in your life that you want to see. And I do believe that this reading is very much about that. At this particular time in life, we're going to see the aspects of the planets are going to be very crucial in our emotional outbursts or our emotional states. So be mindful of where you are. Be mindful of what you're feeling. And if it is a feeling that could become overwhelming, such as fear, feel it, but let it go. So I'm glad you joined me today, and I hope that you have a wonderful full moon day, a wonderful Easter weekend if you celebrate Easter, or just a wonderful weekend in general. And thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you do, and sign up and subscribe. This is going to be one of many different videos that I'll be putting out, different types of videos. I'll have meditations coming up as well. So thank you again for watching, and I look forward to the next time we meet in the next video. Bye.